God bless fake hoes.
Bernie, you look
God
mad
bless
good.
these haters. Cause God only knows that.
Yeah.
All I do is get it. All I do is get it. All I do is get it.
I hate
All
you.
I do
You
is
look
get
good,
it.
bitch.
I'm gonna get you later.
Get it.
I'm gonna get you later. Oh my God, we haven't been on in so long.
Like 7 months. Happy Pride. Happy fucking Pride.
I can't. Happy Pride, everybody. Happy end of the school year. Happy teachers are off the slave ship. Happy everything. Okay. It is a joyous, auspicious occasion. We are here. Thank you for joining us on the comment section. I am your host, Shirley Ann Phillips III.
And I'm Fox Baldwin, aka Emmanuel Antules. That's my government name, but don't use it unless you're trying to steal my social security number.
Unless you're trying to steal. So what we originally planned to do, we were going to have this nice Pride, show, but it's so loud in New York City. People that are not in the city, Emmanuel went and found like the most quiet place that he could find. He thought he was good, and then all of a sudden, black and brown people.
This was honestly, this was so quiet. When I did the audio test, this was the most quiet place I could find. And you hear it now, and it's like, I don't know who came, but everybody.
Those are your people. Those are the red, the blue, the green, the yellow, the purple, the red. Y'all are a rowdy bunch. Okay? Y'all are a rowdy bunch. Love you to death, but y'all rowdy. Okay? Y'all rowdy. So yesterday, let me tell you what happened yesterday. So yesterday I had an event for my nonprofit. It's a fundraiser, hip hop dance-a-thon. And we weren't going to do it because it's the end of the year. People are tired, and we didn't really think a lot of people were going to show. But I said I just wanted to do it just to test it, to see how it would go, because it's going to fit into a fitness initiative that I'm doing in the fall. And when we got such an overwhelming response from kids, from parents, from admin at my school. And it was phenomenal. Like, we got our Beyonce and Michael Jackson and Chris Brown on yesterday. Everybody left feeling very, very confident and very, very motivated. Not only to stay in shape, but just to, keep that confidence so that you can just try things that might normally make you anxious or make you, uncomfortable. So a lot of people had to step out of their comfort zones. And I just want to thank everybody that showed up, everybody that, maybe couldn't make it or got stuck in your Pride traffic, Emmanuel, because your people took over the streets yesterday.
Girl, it was like 5 hours.
It took me 2.5 hours to get from Westchester County to the location. And then once we got to the location, they had 34th Street block. Then they had 30. It's like you couldn't turn anywhere. So it's like, dude, what do we do? And a lot of people were messaging me in the middle, the class had already started, and they're like, I'm still on the George Washington Bridge, and it's 7:30. So what do you want me to do? So it was unfortunate, but we had
everything. I feel like the Holland Tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel, everything was crazy. Crazy.
Like crazy.
I don't think it was because of Pride.
You don't think it was because of Pride?
I don't think so. I think there was some construction or something happening in the city that was preventing people from getting to.
I don't know, but they had a warning a couple days ago. I had went down, oh my God, Brooklyn was a whole nother story. It took me 3.5 hours to get to Brooklyn the other day. It took Danielle, my bestie, 4 hours. I said, we may as well have this happy hour in DC, because that's about how long it would have taken you to drive there.
You could have taken a flight somewhere to a small island.
Oh my gosh, you could have been in Chicago.
I've been there before. Right.
It's a mess. Those of you that don't live here, it is a different type of struggle to get anywhere in New York City. I don't care if the trip should normally take 15 minutes, you have to allow 2 hours. So you could be going to Jersey, Brooklyn, Harlem, Queens, Long Island. You have to put 2 hours in there. And if you already know that there's an event, you might want to add an extra hour just to make sure you get there on time. It's ridiculous, and it's causing crazy anxiety, and just, it's a mess.
I feel like the number of times we've spoken about the traffic is out of control.
I think yesterday was the worst I've seen it since I've lived here, to be honest. Yesterday and the day before, it was bad. It was pretty bad, but we're excited.
Shirley, don't forget the marathon. Don't marathon.
Oh my God! I can't. That's why I go. Like I spend my summers. I was like, I can't. I have to go. Otherwise, you will end up in the psych ward. Like there's no way you could live here your entire life and not suffer from some type of a mental illness. It's just not possible. It's not possible. And then this is actually going to tie into our guest today. Our guest today is Miss K. Oh, excuse me. I'm about to call the lady her wrong name. Jesus. Yejin Hong. She is the certified K-Trap queen of New York City. And I just learned about her maybe about a month and a half ago. I didn't know there was such a thing as K-Trap. Like I love trap music to work out. I love trap music when I'm in my car, but I didn't know there was such thing as K-Trap. And I've listened to some of her music and it's like, okay, this is possibly the next big thing. So I'm very excited to talk to her and just kind of get a little bit more information on what the hell is going on with K-Trap, because that's lit. Like I knew about K-pop from the kids, but K-Trap, I'm like, okay. But she is running late. She is very pregnant and she said she's trying to get her life together. So she says she should be able to join us around 6:30ish. But she is coming. She just said she had a little minor setback, being with child, and she's so adorable pregnant. But either way, you know how we are. We can talk until the cows come home.
I think she needs to make it up to us by allowing me to be on her label. Because I'm trying to be a gay rapper, period.
You trying to be a what? A what rapper?
A gay rapper.
I hate you. Are.
I have so many things to rap about. Honestly, I have so much to rap about.
You want gay trap? So we're gonna call G trap.
It's gonna be
G trap. I can't with you. So, another caveat about this particular live. Emmanuel's background, because black and brown and red and blue and green and yellow and purple people are rowdy. He has to constantly mute and unmute, otherwise you're not going to be able to hear anything. So he didn't know that, so we do apologize, but he's going to do the best that he can. You are giving me superstar with these bottom shades.
Listen, I apologize because when I did my audio test 30 minutes ago, it was dead quiet in this fucking restaurant. Nobody was here, and 5 minutes ago when we started the show, it was like everybody decided to show up. Happy Pride, y'all.
Murphy's Law. But wait, when was the last Pride? Weren't I and Danielle with you? That wasn't the last. That was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I think the last Pride you guys were trying to help Matt.
We were with Matt, but didn't we meet up with you or no?
You guys were supposed to meet up with me because I was in crisis and you didn't.
We were in a crisis. I remember the crisis. That was the crisis to end all crises. It was a lot that day because Matt was in crisis. You were in crisis. We had never been. That was our first Pride event. So
I was like, forget Matt. Like, you guys don't need to worry about it. Like, come meet me because I'm in deep crisis. Like, this is serious and you guys did not care. You guys went to Matt. And I was like, oh my God, I have to figure this out on my own. And
we were all in the
same.
We were in the same vehicle. So I couldn't just desert Matthew Dennis. Quick shout out and quick backstory. A lot of people not a lot of people, but two people asked me about the logo that we have. They're like, well, what's going on? Matt is still in your logo. So Matt was our original third host. And because of the commute, the Brooklyn and the Queens and the Bronx, he just couldn't do it anymore, you guys. That's why he's still in the logo. But he is like our silent third. He still comments. He still gives the show ideas, and very good friend of mine. So he's here, but he's not here. But we are going to change the logo. So
disclaimer, like, we love Matt to pieces. Like, he's an amazing political commentator, and we appreciate his contribution.
He's phenomenal. He's a smart dude. He's very witty. If you watch like our beginning shows a couple of years ago, you will see our dynamic was good. It's unfortunate, but it's a lot, you guys, to try to commute from one borough to the next. You know, when you have a time, it's very taxing. So maybe one day, you know, we can get back together. But right now, if you are a graphic artist or digital artist and you're able to help us redesign our logo, maybe we'll have like a contest or something. And have someone that could, we came up with like a cartoon idea before, but I don't know. Get at me if you have some ideas. But there's two things that concerned me that transpired over the past 2 days. probably guess what the
Talk about it. Talk about it, Shirley. Talk about it.
I'm just trying to figure out how you can take a human life, okay, recklessly, and you only get 22 years, but then you give the former mayor of Detroit, who didn't kill anyone, to our knowledge, right? He just misappropriated some funds, you know. He got 28 years. He didn't kill anyone. So I just would like to know what is going on. And you know, he's not going to do 22. He'll be lucky if he does 15. If they don't kill him in prison, or if he doesn't kill himself, he's going to get out early for good behavior. So I don't know. I feel like that was kind of like just the last nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to do? There's no justice. They defaced both brand new George Floyd statues. I think there was one in Newark, if I'm not mistaken, and one in Brooklyn. Neo-Nazis, Klan, whatever you want to call them, they came, spray painted it, you know, vandal. It's ridiculous. And there were allegedly no cameras to catch anyone. How's that?
I mean, we know that the history of this country has always been about oppressing people of color. So obviously, the justice system is on the side of white people, and justice is never on the side of people of color who are the oppressed, the abused. And it's really unfortunate, but it's a
reality. But I don't know what we're expected to do. My favorite MTV interview of all time was with Tupac, and he gave this, I guess you call it an analogy of like the Black struggle. He's like, you know, it's like you're in, let me see if I can get this right, not screwing it up. He said the Black struggle in America is like you're starving, you have no food, and you are looking through the window of a house, and you see that in this house they're having like a party with food, they're throwing salami around, bread, steaks, crab, lobster, right? And you're like looking in like, oh,
not salami, Shirley.
He said salami. I'm gonna send you the video. He said they're throwing salami.
No, he didn't say.
I would not lie on Uncle Tupac. He said you're looking in the window, right? And you knock on the door. So he said the knocking on the door politely was like the Black Panthers and the civil rights movement. We're asking you nicely. Hey, hi, we're hungry. Can we please have some food? Please? Something? Nobody answers the door. They won't let you come in, right? And then he's like, years and years later, you know, you're getting a little bit more aggressive because you're still starving. Each year you're getting more and more hungry to the point where you're getting desperate and reckless. And he's like, that's where, you know, now you have a beat to it. Like I think he said, we hungry, we need some food. So you're still trying to be respectful, but you're getting a little restless, right? So you're making beats now. We hungry, we need some food. Hey, what's up? Can we please have some? So then he's like, now, remind you, this interview was done, I believe in like 1993 or 94. So he wasn't quite Thug Life yet. Not quite. He was still kind of like Apocalypse. He's like, that's now the gangster rap, where it's like, now I'm picking your lock, I'm coming in and I'm stabbing anybody, I'm shooting, I'm doing whatever I need because now I've reached my level, I can't take anymore, I'm hungry. We asked you nicely in the 60s and the 50s. We asked you nicely in the, you know, the 70s and the 80s. Now somebody got to die, and because I'm taking your salami. And I said, that is the best analogy ever, because that's what's happening. And so now fast forward, we're in 2021 and cops are still killing Black people on tape with no repercussions, or very minute, limited repercussions. So I don't know what we're expected to do.
I had a friend last night that I had to argue with about Black Lives Matter, and she was saying like, I feel like Black people are taking advantage of the system because they know that justice is on their side today. And I had to school her. She's a white Spanish person. She's from Spain.
Okay.
So I had to let her know, like, regardless of whether or not you have Black people, Hispanic people trying to take advantage of the system, it doesn't give us any more privilege. It doesn't detract from the fact that our people are getting killed at the hands of cops, right? the reality is that we are still getting killed at a higher rate than any other race.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And until white people are able to acknowledge that, nothing's going to change.
Not only that, but look, you stole this land that we're on from.
Stolen. Stolen.
So this isn't yours in the first place. Are we even taking advantage of the system, or are we reclaiming what should be rightfully ours in the first place? Are we really? You know, it's.
So this woman is from Jersey, right? Like this woman grew up, or she lived in Jersey from the time that she was 14 years old. So I'm like, damn, if she feels that way about Black people and Hispanic people, and she's like, they're taking advantage of the system in New Jersey, down the street from where I live, and where I live now, I can only imagine what other white people in my area are experiencing.
When she's saying taking advantage, is she talking about like the welfare system, PPP loans? Like, what is she talking about exactly?
She was talking about Black Lives Matter.
Oh,
She was
just
like,
Black Lives Matter.
this gives people an opportunity to like go out and hurt other races,
What?
put their hands on Asians. Yeah, it was loaded. It was such a loaded conversation.
First of all, ma'am, there are two different issues at hand. Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Black Lives Matter is please stop killing us for no reason, cops and people that are non-Black and brown. Thank you.
So you know I went in on her.
Of course.
You know I went in on her. And my friend Tina, who's been on the show before, was there with me, and we were both like digging into this woman. Both of us were digging into this woman. Like, I'm Hispanic, but like I'm darker skinned. Tina's a light skinned Hispanic, and she understands because she just understands. Like, we grew up in a community where color wasn't an issue. We didn't know that color was discriminated against until we went to college, and we experienced racism from white people in college.
I didn't know how bad it was. Yeah, I didn't know how bad it was until I went to the University of Michigan. Because I did get called a nigger in 1996. I think I told you that, right? So you're right. You don't really see it until you go to a predominantly white school and you are for real a minority. Then you're like, oh, this is what they were talking about, because it's blatant.
I got called the N-word in college. I got called the N-word in college, and I was working with my two girls. One of them is lighter than I am, and the other one is a darker Dominican girl. We were walking down the street to get some food, and a car of white boys stopped, and they were like, oh, ignore them, they're minorities. And then the other one was like, yeah, they're niggers, like hard, E-R-S. Hard, the hard.
This is, you know, and they probably said it like, what you gonna do? Like, who's gonna check me, boo? What are you gonna do about it? So how did you respond to that? Because you were younger and even more crazy then. How did you respond?
All of us were shocked because we had never heard that before, right? Like, my girls are from Newark, New Jersey. So in Newark, New Jersey, you're either Hispanic or Black. Where I grew up, it was the same demographic. So it was the first time I ever heard somebody call me that. And we were all like, did they just call it? Like, we were so shocked. And they sped away. Like, we didn't have time to like defend ourselves. But then what happened after was like the worst, right? Like the treatment that we got on campus. The way that we were not allowed to go into frat parties unless we had a certain number of white girls with us. And they would say, for every Black girl, you need 2 white girls.
Are you serious?
For every male, you need 3 girls. Yes. And if you are a white man, you could waltz right in.
When did you graduate from there?
2007.
Wow.
And I started in 2003. It was awful. Awful. And all my friends were Black and Hispanic, so it wasn't like I had white people available to like meet the quotas, right? I didn't.
Available?
And it was, I didn't know white people like that.
Oh my gosh. This is now.
And it was traumatic. It was really traumatic.
So I guess my question to you would be, prior to that reality that you experienced, did you kind of consider yourself among the privileged? Because, hey, I'm not Black, so I don't necessarily have to deal with that.
Not at all. Not at all. And that's something that I grew up knowing. I knew that I was a part of the oppressed. So when Black people were oppressed around me, I was like, this is what I belong to.
Okay.
I never felt that I was above Black people because my skin is lighter. And I didn't grow up that way. My parents didn't raise me that way. So if they were going down in flames, I was gonna be right there burning
Let me
up
burn
with
it
them.
too.
And that's how I always grew up feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like it was never like I'm better than anybody because my skin is lighter. It was like I'm oppressed, you're oppressed. Let's make this shit better for everyone.
Be better for everyone. And these are questions that I want to ask our guests because I feel like Asians, not just Asian women, that's a whole nother conversation, but Asians in general, it's like we forget, or people forget that they are actually minorities too. They're people of color. Doesn't matter what type of Asian you're talking about or from what region, you are still a minority. And I think we forget.
They don't like you in the same way. Right. It's a model minority though, Shirley. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, but what exactly do they mean by the model minority?
So the model minority is like there are certain minority populations that are better than others because of the color of their skin, because of their intellect. So Asian communities, when they first started to settle in America, they were trained by white people here that they were more intelligent, more intellectual, more of a higher level than the Black and Hispanic people.
Got it.
So that all has permeated to like our generations, right? So like if you think about the case of George Floyd, one of the cops was Asian.
Yeah.
He didn't say him because he knew he was a model minority.
Why didn't you say anything, sir?
He was a model minority.
Wow.
So according to the white people, he's trying to live up to their expectations of a minority. He's not gonna say anything because he wants to look good in their eyes.
But he knows
if it was me, yeah, he knew it was wrong, but he knows that his place in society is affected by what he's saying.
Wow. That's like,
and I didn't.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's like exactly how some Hispanics are trained as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I
Unconsciously.
moved here.
So to me, like I grew up. So half my family is Black. Like if you look at my family in Peru, half of them are Black, half of them are white, and some of them are like mixed with like indigenous, but they're dark skinned. Like every single one of them is dark skinned. So my mother, when I came to America, she was like, everybody here is from a different country, but we all come from the same place, right? So I didn't experience racism in my home, but I lived through it when I was growing up, meeting other people from other places, and they knew that lighter skin was better, and I would always question it. And I came through like a point in my life where I was like, is light skin better? And I thought it was for a hot second. And then I like something in me was like, it feels wrong.
It doesn't feel right. I had this conversation the other day with someone because this person, and I got to be careful how I form my words. I don't want the person to know who I'm talking about, but this person in particular kept comparing my struggle as a Black woman in America to another woman's struggle who is a biracial woman in America. Very fair skinned. You know, if she wanted to say she's Hispanic, she could. If she wanted to say she was biracial, she could. If she wanted to say she was, I don't know, Asian and Black, she could. So very ambiguous looking, but very fair. I said that person does not have the same struggle, even though she identifies as Black. Her struggle is very different from mine because she's going to have access to things that I don't have access to. And so the basis of the conversation was a lot of the injustices that we see, it is not racism, it's colorism. The cop will treat you different based on how fair you are sometimes, or this group of people at this establishment will treat you different if you are fair skinned, even though you could still be Black. And then there's levels even to that. So it's like, okay, he's fair skinned, but he's got 4C hair. So we know he's got some African in there, or he's Black, but he's fair skinned, he'll pass. So there's levels to it. A lot of it is not racism, it's colorism. And
that's what exists, and that's what exists within our communities, right? Because like people of color cannot be racist.
We don't have
Black
enough power.
People, Hispanics, we don't have power to change the system.
Can't be
racist.
So
we can't be racist. We can be prejudiced. We can be discriminatory.
Thank you.
We could be colorist. And I think that's what exists in our communities of color.
That's the conversation that needs to happen. I learned from one of my classmates at U of M. She was actually Asian. Her parents were from Japan, I believe. And she was telling me about even within that community, there are like if your hair is too thick, like if you have a certain type of straight hair, like there's different grades, I guess, of that hair. She said they consider you to have bad hair. And I'm like, even though your hair is still straight in my eyes, she said if it's too thick or too coarse, they're like, no, you have bad hair. And there's certain levels of color. I want to call it a paper bag test, but so it's the same mess that we're dealing with in that community, but nobody ever talks about it. Nobody talks about it. It just exists.
And what's insane about that is that, like, we're all minorities at the face of white supremacy, right? So why is it that we're continuing to perpetuate and divide our communities even more? But this is so deeply rooted in society. I don't know that it's ever going to change, unfortunately.
I have students already at 12, 13. Oh, she says she's on the Zoom now, so she might be in the waiting room. So should we just go to commercial, Charles? Charles, can you hear us? So let's just go to her. They said she's waiting. So when we return, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will be with Miss Yejin Hong, the Cape Fat Queen, who I need answers.
She's gonna get me a record deal. That's all I gotta say.
All right, I'm gonna let you shoot your shot. You're gonna shoot your shot. We're gonna get you a record deal.
I got bars today. So.
We will be right back, you guys, with the conversation. Thank you. Oh my God, there's that girl. Where? Hello, right there.
That's inside.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that.
I heard she's a daughter. Just look at her.
Drown your face in the grass.
Doesn't she know nobody wants her here?
Her own mother wants her.
She should just stay home with daughter.
Even her boyfriend nothing for the other one.
I would too. Hashtag loser.
The suicide of a teenage girl in British Columbia is drawing attention tonight to the issue of bullying. Before she died, she chronicled online what she'd endured. Now, as Duncan McHugh reports, much of the response is also appearing online.
Bullying and suicide has been a great issue on today's world. But what would happen if we would have stopped what's happening and became friends with the person being bullied? Maybe the results would have been different. Let's watch this video again, but this time, let's stop this and see what happens.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that.
I've heard she's a daughter. Just look at her.
Doesn't she know nobody wants her here?
Her own mother wants her.
She should just stay home with daughter.
Even her boyfriend nothing for the other one.
I would too. Hashtag loser.
Little hearts hide shadows from the pain that's inside.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. Don't worry about them, they're nobody's anyway.
Yeah, girl. They only say stupid things because they have nothing better else to do with themselves.
Yes, girl, that is true.
Yeah, I know. I just hate it when they say stuff like that, especially when it's not true. So what? They're only words. Well, it's just that. Never mind. You guys will never understand.
It's okay, we're friends now, so let's get out of here and talk about it.
I don't know. Come on, it'll be okay. We can go and talk about it.
Yes, girl, remember you are not alone.
Well, I don't know. Oh, I don't see how it works, but I'll go.
Feels like it's never gonna stop. Push you hard, not too far. You can run, but you can't hide. I hope tomorrow be the day. Stay strong and move on. We're running up on high.
all that.
I heard she slept all around. I mean, just look at her.
Where?
Hello, right there.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that.
I heard she slept all around. I mean, just look at her.
Nobody wants her here.
Not even her own mother wants her.
Not even her own mother.
Not even her own.
Action.
Hello, you okay? Yes, I guess so. Don't worry about them. They're nobodies anyways. Yeah, girl. They don't.
Second scene, bully, take one. And action.
Doesn't she know nobody wants her here?
Not even her own mother wants her.
She should just stay home or die or something.
Even her boyfriend left her. Okay.
I can't. Thank you so much, Charles. The bullying reminds me of the classroom. I want no parts of the classroom. We are back, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a few technical difficulties, but we are back with Miss, I'm so excited, Yejin Hong. Please give her a round of applause. I'm so excited. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you guys?
You're excellent. Happy Sunday. Are you feeling okay? Your agent told me you were feeling a little.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting. So just one of those days.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's hot, so it's just one of those days. But it's a beautiful Sunday, and really have no complaints. Honestly.
You are glowing. And
Thank you. Thank you.
I have Emmanuel is at Pride, so we're gonna be in and out with his mute, but he's LGBTQ elemental P man. Okay, so he's out there with his people, and that's fine. But he'll be muted in and out.
Honey, if I wasn't carrying right now,
You'll be out turning up.
I would be. I normally am out there with my friends, but you know, this summer is hot mama summer for me.
You're a hot mama summer. I'm so excited. I saw your Care Bear photo. It was like a green Care Bear that you put on Instagram. That was adorable. The pregnancy.
Yeah, my announcement shoot. Yes, thank you so much.
So what we want, first of all, I want to make sure that I am addressing you correctly. So can you explain to us or tell us what you identify as, like, ethnicity wise and nationality or race, however you want to call it?
Okay. So it's actually, you know, weird. That term, like the saying what you identify as, you know, it's changed in the last 10, 15 years. Growing up, it wasn't that much of an issue for me to just say I'm half Black and Korean, you know. But now, you know, with everything's changing, you know, I guess I definitely would say that I definitely identify as Black because I'm darker skin compared to a lot of my other Asian family members. But I still feel I have that connection to my Asian culture as well. My mother's Korean, my father's Black, African American. So growing up, it was like, I'm both. And honestly, now, even with the times changing of how we're supposed to regard ourselves, I still feel like I'm both. To the average public eye, they don't really know. Although I have experienced, you know, some instances of racism because of my skin color.
Okay.
That would make me feel like, you know, well, I'm a Black girl. Overall, I still identify as both. I'm half Black. And half,
exactly. Yeah. We have a really good friend who is biracial. Emmanuel, Korea. Is she Korean and Black?
Yeah, her mom is Korean and her dad is Black.
She's Black, and
her dad was Black. He passed away a few months ago.
He did pass away, but she relates to both sides. I mean, if you ask her if she's a Black woman, she's like, yes. You ask her if she's Korean, she's like, yeah, I'm Korean too. So she doesn't.
She's 100% both.
The question, you know, especially in the last year with COVID, and like the Black Lives Matter movement and like the Stop Asian Hate movement, like a lot of that I've been questioned about that, you know, like how do you feel about you know, the Asian attacks, and then how do you feel about, like, you know, injustices with Black communities, like I feel connected to both.
Both.
You know, not one that's more stronger than the other, because I grew up with both of my parents in the household. My dad is a strong Black man. My mother is a strong, Korean woman who emigrated here. So for me, like, and I grew up in the 90s. So like culture was real in the 90s. So I feel connected to both. I don't feel like I have to choose one race or one side.
Awesome.
Obviously, like I said, to the public eye, because of my color, I'm darker than a lot of other Asians. I may have some type of subject to racism because I'm kind of portrayed as a Black girl, but like overall, I am a Black girl. Like I look at
girl.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to, because I want to be mindful of your time and Charles's time, because I think he has another show, but I'm going to get right to the meat of it. Can you please explain to us what exactly is K-Trap and when did this originate? Because I'm completely green. I hadn't heard of it. I knew trap music. I know K-pop because my 8th graders are obsessed with K everything and anime, like it's out of control. But I had never.
I love it too. I'm not gonna lie. I love it too.
Because you're an 8th grader, sir. That's why you're worse than my 8th graders. But anyway, let's act the professional. Where did K-Trap? What is it, and where did it originate?
So it's actually, I feel like, this is a common question for me all the time, because over the years, I've been developing the sound since like 2009, 2010 almost. So it's been a little over like 11 years now, or 12 years pushing. The term K-Trap, it exists within the K-pop movement, right?
Okay.
You have people like Jesse, artists like Jesse, artists like Jay Park. They are K-pop rappers, but at the end of the day, the style of music when it comes to genre, it's broken down into trap beats and trap sounds. So here in America, we have different genres where we can break down. You have hip hop, then you have neo soul hip hop, you have trap hip hop, you have rock hip hop. There's different terms of hip hop that we can choose to listen to. Outside of America, it's not that often where, well, first off, hip hop was invented in America, so when other cultures took on the term of hip hop and cultivated their own sound of hip hop with their own cultural aspects, the genres didn't really come along with it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I always felt like K-pop and K-rap, because there is such thing as K-rap, was just bland, like unseasoned chicken. Like I felt like it was something that was missing that like I didn't fully connect to, because at that time I was living in Atlanta and I fell in love with the trap movement, the trap music, everything about it out there, and I was like, damn, like I wish I could have this, with K-pop. I wish there was a way we could merge K-pop and trap music. And at that time, like the people I was working with in the studio, they were just like, you can, why not? Like, let's just make it. And it just happened and evolved from there. And since then, there have been, like I said, there's artists that are emerging now that have the K-trap sound, but they haven't coined the term K-trap because it's not something that's popular outside of American music. The different genres of, of whatever genre we're listening to. Like there's regular basic pop, and then, you have contemporary pop, alternative pop, regular rock, grunge rock and roll, metal rock and roll. We have different types of genres here in America for the music categories, whereas outside in other countries, they don't really dictate it like that much. So I just decided, I love trap music, I love K-pop. We about to merge this together. We're gonna make it
create something else.
Yep.
And just like you just described, it sounds like you came from like I'm gonna say quote unquote a nice household. You had 2 parents. Sounds like a middle class or upper middle class household. So I wanted to know, how did you get even interested in that sound? Because here, I know in New York, I'm from Detroit, we associate trap with like the trap house, like the drug house. This is where it goes down. And you just described it as more of a sound or like a genre, not necessarily the content that's in the lyrics. How did you get interested in that type of music?
So, like I said, I lived in Atlanta for about 4 or 5 years. Prior to me living in Atlanta, I started working with Puff at Bad Boy, and I had always been influenced with hip hop in New York. Period.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
When I moved to Atlanta, I got introduced to trap music. I was working with MMG and Rick Ross and them, and like dibbling dabbling with a couple of other Southern artists, SODMG, Soldier Boys Camp. Like I worked with a couple other people. So bouncing around different studios at that time while I was working, because I was still unsure about who I was as an artist. You know, I didn't introduce myself as an artist at that time yet. I was still cultivating like where I wanted to go musically, you know. And I was introduced to trap music as well as being on my own, living in Atlanta by myself, working from a regular job to bartending at the strip club to picking up a gig over here at the hookah bar. Like the word trap has transformed. Of course, we think about trap in a trap house, selling drugs, dope, and all of that too. But there's an actual genre called trap. Trap music is an actual genre now. And you have artists that are using, again, you have artists outside of trap music, like Miley Cyrus and like Ariana Grande. They have trap influences in their beats, but they're considered pop songs, you know?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what the Billboard says. At the end of it, when it breaks down to the genre, everything stems from some point, originated from an original sound, you know? So for me, when I was introduced to trap music, it was just a whole different vibe. It was a whole different feeling to me that I loved, because a lot of it was heavy bass, heavy 808s, you know, weird sounds. I loved all of that. It was unique in itself. And I wanted to cultivate that and mix it with K-pop. And that's just how it came about. It wasn't really about, I mean, granted, like I said, I was in my term, retrospect for me, I was trapping, okay? I was bartending at the club. Yeah, I was trapping too. I was bartending.
I love this.
Going home, sleeping for 2-3 hours, waking up, working my day job at the mall, managing a little store at the mall.
You're
Getting off from it.
hustling.
Yeah, that was my trap. You know, like Rick Ross used to say, every day I'm hustling. Everybody got their own hustle. That was my trap. My trap was going from 2 different spots in one night, you know? So for me, it was just about the genre of the music and how that music made you feel. It wasn't about me slinging dope and stuff, you know?
Got you. Trap is, I got it. That cleared up so much in my head. That was my main question. Emmanuel, did you have anything you want to ask her? Because you know I will ask 1,000 questions.
You know that I just want to say, like, I appreciate the genre of music, and I appreciate your interpretation of it too, because most people in the world think that trap is just about drugs and partying.
And black
and
men,
it, right?
associated with black men and drugs, and not a female.
And that's it. There's no female sound in this industry, right? And something about me is like I've always wanted to rap, but I'm not a rapper. So I wish that I had the talent that the females in the industry have today, and I'm just so proud of the progress that you've made, and I'm so proud of the trajectory that you've had to get to the point of where you are today, using the experiences of your life. And I think that's so beautiful. And I love that you're sharing that with us. And now I'm a teacher, so I would love for you to come and speak to my students, because a lot of my girls are aspiring to be rappers down the line. And I feel like they need a strong woman to help guide them along the way. And we don't have enough of that.
That's not Black or Hispanic. I mean, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like the typical
right
artist tends to have like a cookie cutter image. So with Kristen, she's got a couple of things going on here. She's got the Asian aspect, she's got the Black woman aspect, and then if you go through her page, she represents body positivity. She's not a size 2, and she doesn't proclaim that size. You know what I'm saying? So she's got a lot of things that she's representing.
Right now, I'm not a size 2. I'm like a size.
And that's okay, because that's who you are. That's who you are, right? Like, I love authenticity. I love anybody that's like a real ass person. And I feel like you bring that. Like, even in talking to you for the past 20 minutes, I'm like, damn, like this is somebody that I need to bring to my students. Because oftentimes we see the mirage of what social media is, and that's not reality. Yeah, we need people that have lived through experiences, right? Like real life struggles to come and educate and help influence. And I feel like you're good. You're one of the good ones.
Thank you.
Love you.
Would you say that you have, or that you get more pushback from men like hating, because let's just keep it real. People hate, they hate on skin color, they hate on hair texture, they hate on things that we're not even thinking about. Would you say that you get more resistance from men because it's like, oh, this is a male dominated industry, you can only do this or you can only do that? Or would you say you get more pushback from women, particularly Black women? I'm just gonna keep it real. Who do you feel like gives
100%. My biggest haters are these men. I was gonna say something else, but I ain't gonna say that because
you can say, listen, we are real.
Girl, say it.
You can say whatever you
because
want.
We need them to hear it.
My biggest haters is these niggas, okay? And
Yeah.
I don't know
Yes.
why.
Yes.
I don't know
Speak
why.
on it. And nigga
Shirley
doesn't
and I
mean
talk about
Black.
that all the time.
Nigga doesn't mean Black. A nigga is anybody that's acting ignorant. So let's
Correct.
be clear.
It's the ignorance. It's the ignorance. Correct. I'm sorry to that man, but listen, that ain't gonna stop me. Truthfully, my biggest supporters is the female embodiment, and because again, I feel like the times have changed. You know, in the 90s, it was like mean girl this, mean girl that. Talk about her size. She's fat. She's ugly. Whatever, whatever. She doesn't have that. We've transformed. We as a empowerment, you know, like movement. It's no longer that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So more women across the board have supported me and my sound and my movement than men. You know, men are usually the ones in the industry that have made certain comments about, you know, getting this and doing that and why this and why not that. You should change this sound. You should focus on this. Like, but you know, honestly, that's how it is in any industry. Like in my work field, that's how it is in the work field. You know, so it's just something that you know, they say it's a man's world. So you know, I've had to live with that for some time now, and it's something that I've definitely made my adjustments to. I'm from New York, so and I worked with the gutterest, grittiest people that you can. So I don't thin skin. So the things that some of these guys say, they really, it doesn't get to me anymore. Like I said, I grew up. My father taught me very well, and he prepared me with his military background. He prepared me on how to, you know, go through the challenges of a man saying this or saying that or coming at me and, you know, attacking me in any type of way, physical or verbal, you know. So for me in the music industry, it's no different. You know, me walking down the street and having these guys catcall me is no different than me walking in the building and catching so many eyes and just dudes hating on me. And, you know.
Do you think that being attractive, because you're a very attractive woman, do you think that
Thank you. I try to.
You try. I try.
No, girl, you are fucking gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
Like, oh my
Thank you.
God.
Korea on here. She reminds me of Korea.
Yes, exactly. Like, I'm like, damn, like, gorgeous, beautiful woman.
She's
And
gorgeous.
yeah, like, obviously it's the guys that are hating on you.
But I want to
They're
know, like,
intimidated.
do you
They're
think that
intimidated.
you've been able to get into certain doors because you are attractive, or do you think it was just 100% pure talent? I got bars. This is who I am. I'm an alpha female. Do you think, or let me rephrase the question. What percentage of your success on a scale from 1 to, of course, 100, what percentage would you say has to do with my looks and my ability to get in the door because I'm pretty? And what percentage is my actual, look, I had to grind for this. This is my talent. 60-40?
So, truthfully, right? Because we're keeping it real, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being in New York, you know, coming out of New York, coming out of the camps that I worked out of, obviously in the hip hop industry, yes, you have to look a certain type to be able to get into certain rooms, right? Mm-hmm. Which I will say that because of my looks, that has helped me, right? But I've worked with people who look better than me and who look just as fly and just as cute, just as pretty, hair done, nails and everything, to look just as good, get into the room and then get kicked out, honey.
They don't have anything to offer besides that.
They don't have the pizzazz. They don't have the characteristics and the charismatic way to keep a conversation, be professional, you know, continue to be positive about, like, I've had drinks thrown at me, things happen, you get what I'm saying? And I haven't let that get the best of me in a business environment or in a club atmosphere where, to me, that was business. You know, clubbing was that was in New York, you know, pre-COVID, you know, that was my stomping grounds. That's where I made my way in New York City to get into the rooms that I was able to get into and meet certain people and clients that I have. So I definitely would say that, you know, 75% is looks in the hip hop industry, right? In the hip hop industry. But 90% of that is your attitude, your personality, your business etiquette, overall, like, you know, how you carry yourself, how you have a conversation, how intriguing you are to people, your intelligence. Like, you can't be dumb as a box of rocks just walking
That's
in
right.
there. You know, all of that is important. And
a lot of women don't realize. They think,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go have this surgery, I'm gonna get my body done, I'm gonna get my lace front, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna make it. You have to have something to offer once you get in the door, because everybody has what you have. What is making you stand out from the 800 other million girls that have exactly what you have? And that's why a lot of women are getting frustrated in the industry.
And I definitely want to say that, like I said, from working behind the scenes with Diddy and everybody at Bad Boy, Sean John, Blue Flame, working behind the scenes with Rick Ross, everybody at MMG, Bel Air, those guys taught me that it was way more than just looks.
Yes.
They taught me how, you know, what does Hov say? Move in a room full of vultures. You get what I'm saying? Like, that to me, like, that is a real saying that I still use till this day.
That's right.
Because these men are vultures, especially in this industry. And they will eat you up. So if you just think you're going to be in there looking like a little cute shortcake, you're going to get ate up and gobbled up in the first, you know, the first serving. And then what else do you have to offer?
You will.
I am an outgoing and outspoken person, so I'm never really the quiet one in the group. I'm always like the loud rah-rah.
Hey, when's your birthday? I need to know your zodiac sign. When's your birthday?
My birthday is July 28th. I'm a Leo.
She's a Leo.
I'm a Leo. So yeah, so raw, you know.
There we go. Enough said.
Quiet. But yeah, you know, it's definitely important for the woman to be one with herself and to obviously be able to capture the aura around her and use it to her best of the ability to keep that energy going. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to catch your attention with my looks, and then 5 minutes later you see somebody else and then you forgot about me, you know.
I like that, what you just said. You have to be able to understand the energy around you, because sometimes you have to switch and you have to do it without warning. If you know, oh, this one, his issue is
listen, my thing is, I could go from being in the boardroom to being on the block. Like,
hello,
don't get it twisted. You gotta be able to move in both sides, you know.
Girl, I love that. I love that so much.
My friend,
that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
I have a friend. He's on here, but he had a tagline. I think he removed it. He said, "I can go from the hood to Harvard. Get it how you live." He literally went to Harvard. Get it how you live. So you have to be versatile and have that duality. Quick question, because I think we're going to get kicked off soon. Quick question. With your workout, is it just workout or is it called Workout Plan, the video and the single?
It's actually called New Workout.
New Workout.
Yeah, my new single.
Is it an actual workout, or are you doing like the Kanye West Workout Plan song that he had back in the day?
So, the song was an interpretation of Kanye West's workout plan.
Okay.
But obviously, when we look at that, which was shot in the early 2000s, it was a very particular type of girl in that video. It was a particular type that he was portraying that we had to be like, and yada, yada, yada. Fake ass workout plan. When they go into DR to get their bodies done, like, all of that was not real for me. So for me, my song New Workout is a new workout, meaning just being confident in who you are. Even if you get 30 minutes in a day, or if you don't get to work out every day, you get one day out the week. Or even if you don't get to work out, but you watching what you eating, you drinking the 2-3 gallons of water every day, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that's part of your workout that is going to help you get to the new you is what I felt like the song was inspiring me. And it's not an actual workout, but we are in the process of trying to make it a thing.
Please make it a thing.
Yeah, we're in the process of trying to make it a thing. But yeah, the song just kind of came about like about I wanted every female to be sexy and feel, 100% in their skin, no matter what their sizes, their shape, their color, whatever it is. Because like I said, with the new female empowerment movement that's going on, and like I said, the body positivity that's been changing, like Victoria's Secret's getting rid of the angels. We got like Lizzo, who are like close to being a top model, so
she's the first plus size woman on Vogue.
Correct. So things are changing. And with that being said, I just think it's the time where everyone should be accepted and feel confident in whatever size they are. I wrote a song so that no matter what. Like, who gonna say no to popping their pussy? Pop that pussy.
Excuse me. Thank you. You popping it anyway.
Yeah, like,
and that's
no matter.
People need to start having real conversations. And I just told my friend this yesterday. I said, you guys are chastising the strippers, who are, by the way, very in shape. Stripping is not a game. You have to be in shape and you have to be agile. They're in shape. They're getting paid to do what you're doing for free.
Correct.
Who's the idiot here? You or them. And it is about empowerment. I love that. And I really do want you to make it into an actual workout. I actually have a nonprofit directed towards at-risk girls, and we try to empower. And that's our focus this year, is being our best selves, and whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's losing 5 pounds. Maybe you need to gain 5 pounds to feel confident. So your song is amazing. I just had one little caveat. I need like a clean version for the 8th graders. If you could work.
The clean version's out. The clean version's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clean version. Yeah.
Oh, girl, listen. I made sure of that. I'm about to have me a baby. I gotta make sure, like, I don't want him listening to no
trap. No misogynistic music, right?
Yeah, no, I don't do that. But no, the clean version is out. It's available on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Tidal, Apple.
Awesome.
You just have to type in new workout. I believe clean.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I'm proud of this record. It was something that kind of just like, came about with me and my brother, Kick Boy Cheese. And in the beginning, it was just like a get hype party record. It was just like, oh, I feel this beat is hot. I feel like popping my pussy right now. And then it transformed. No, it really did. It really did. Then it transformed into something else because of the things that I was going through, and like, the times that things that, what we've been going through as a whole people, So I'm very proud of it. And being that, COVID did halt a couple of things, but because COVID happened, it did give me some time to figure out where I wanted to go as far as how the video I wanted to come across, and the time that we took out to focus on the video, like, it came out perfect to me. Honestly, I love the video, and everybody on my team that helped me, achieve the video it was just perfect. Honestly,
I love the video, and I saw I believe, don't get mad at me if I get, is it your sister that's in the Mary J. Blige documentary?
Oh, Michelle. Actually, she's not my blood sister, but we've been friends for a while now. Wow. It's been almost 10 years, I guess. We actually met through Bad Boy, actually. Because I met her. I was a Ciroc girl at that time, doing promotions for Ciroc, and it was a Ciroc party that we had, and I just met her. She just thought I was beautiful, and I thought she was beautiful too, and we connected. And she started to hire me for a couple of events, and then since then I've been real close with her since. And by the way, if you did not watch that documentary, I cried my eyes out yesterday.
I have it on. I'm watching it tonight. That's on my list.
I cried my eyes out. Okay, so I'm warning you now. Don't go anywhere.
Oh God. Okay.
Cry. If you love Mary J. Blige and you love music and you've been through the relationship struggle, girl, okay? Woo! That was a tearjerker.
I have it on deck.
I don't think it's though. My big sister.
No, because I was saying my next question. Emmanuel, are you still with us? Did they kidnap his finger?
I can hear y'all, and I'm listening, and I'm so impressed. Like honestly, the best word that I have. I'm talking to my girl right now, and I'm like, I'm impressed by you so much. We need
Thank
more of you in this world. Honestly, like we do. Like I love rap music. Nicki Minaj is my favorite rapper. She's not the best image of what I want representing my community, right? But we need more women who are uplifting other women.
Right.
Or about uplifting young women in schools, teenagers, young boys. You know, like if you do that, you will forever have a fan in the gay community. Forever.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
100%. And I mean, you know, I think right now, where we're at in this world, you know, I'm very proud of how the LGBT community has really contributed to more than one cause. You understand?
Yeah.
Like it's just about the gay LGBT activism. You know, they were there when we was marching in the streets for Black Lives Matter. They were there when you know, the wall went up and they had the kids in those cages, you know. So overall, like I feel like you know, the times have changed. We need to be one together, you know, everyone needs to support each other and just spread love. And you know, it takes time. And I think that's just really what it's about. It's taking time. Like, you know, listen, we're the new generation, the older generation, they're still stuck in some of those ways. So, you know, it's just a matter of us coming together and basically, you know, pushing forward to do better for the world, you know.
Love it. And I think he's kicking us out. But thank you so much. I want you quickly to tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Girl, Yejin Hong. You can find me at YEJIN_HONG on all social media platforms, as well as music platforms, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Deezer, literally. The list goes
Wait, can you have me on a feature? Like I will rap about some real gay shit. Like just let me know.
Yes, we can do that. We can do that. As long as you are ready to perform it, honey. As long as you're ready to perform.
G-Trap. He said he wants to be G-Trap. Gay Trap.
Honey, I'm a star, okay?
I can't with you. We are out of time. I wish I could talk longer, but Yejin, please take care of yourself, get some rest, and I'm sure we will talk again. I will post all of your social media.
God bless these haters, cause God don't need no day. Get it, hold up, hold up.